I'm Jason with the All Things Open team. We're here with Jim. Please introduce yourself to the All Things Open community.
Hi community, my name is Jim Salter. You may know me as the Sanoid guy, or alternately, the biggest ZFS stan on the planet.
I can attest to the ZFS part. Well, let's talk about Sanoid. What is Sanoid and what problem does it solve?
So Sanoid is a system to automate taking snapshots on a regular basis for you. The idea is that you can come up with an easily written, read, and understood policy. Like you can just say, hey, I'd like to keep 30 hourlies, 30 dailies, and 3 monthlies. And it will take care of that for you, which is surprisingly difficult when you sit down to actually start coding it.
Got it. All right. Well, thanks for getting that done. I imagine it saves sysadmins a lot of time.
Well, I don't think it's so much time as saves them from like a lot of hideous errors. ZFS snapshots are great. If you take a snapshot, you can roll your entire file system back to exactly where it was at a particular point in time instantly, which is great as long as you took the snapshot before something went wrong. So I knew about snapshots for years, but they very rarely actually saved my bacon, because usually when you're making a mistake, like you're tired, you're not thinking right, you're not doing everything that you should be doing, like taking a snapshot. So if instead you're using Sanoid, well, you just know automatically in the background, everything's happening when it should, what your recovery time is going to be, what your recovery point is going to be. It keeps things fresh for you.
Great. Sounds good. I get the sense that you like computers to work for people. What does that look like in practice?
Well, so to understand that statement, you got to understand, like, I'm a system administrator, right? And I work with a lot of small and mid-sized business, which means it's not one of those like pure back-end sysadmin that lives in the dungeon and like never speaks to people kind of roles. And I find that most people in this job role don't take humans seriously enough. They think, in terms of like, oh, well, this is what the human has to do to make the computer work. And, sometimes practically that may be the case, but it shouldn't be the way that you're thinking. You should be thinking like, okay, how can computers be used to make the mission go better? And the mission is not computer related. Like even if it's a computer company, ultimately there's things that humans want to do that the computers can make it better. And if you lose track of the humans, you just get off into la la land.
Okay. People are the focus. Got it. What are some best practices for data security, backup, and recovery that people should know about?
Well, use Sanoid. I mean, a lot of people can't do this because obviously you have to be using ZFS to do that. But I can never go back again. Once it became possible for me to say, hey, my file system makes it so that at any given point in time, I literally can't do anything that will lose me more than an hour of work, because I know for a fact within the last 59 minutes I have a snapshot. I mean, that changes things incredibly. And then you add in Syncoid, which is also part of the package that lets you replicate those snapshots extremely rapidly and efficiently to other machines. And now you've added like the whole machine caught on fire, or even the whole data center caught on fire, to the things that like you don't care about. It's just another day that ends in Y.
Thanks. Do you have any tips, best practices, or new tools you've been using that we can share with the All Things Open community? And our community loves to find out about tools.
Well, okay, so I just came from a great talk about somebody's favorite command line tools, basically, and there were a bunch of them that are some of my favorites that didn't get mentioned. I don't think NBT scan gets anywhere near enough love. NBT scan, that's short sort of for net BIOS scan. And if you run NBT scan, you'll see all the machines on the network that are responding to NetBIOS. That can be Macs, that can be iPhones, that can be anything running Samba or like a Windows computer without the firewall up, and you get the NetBIOS name of the machine with it. Companion tool, similar, nothing to do with the other one specifically, ARP scan. ARP scan will look at your local network segment and return all of the IP addresses that have MAC addresses associated with them. And the great thing about that is that means even firewalled machines show up on ARP scan. They have to, because if you can't ARP them, you can't reach them, period, whether they're firewalled or not.
Perfect. Well, we're here with 5,000 of our open source friends, and there's a lot of knowledge transfer happening. Do you have any advice you could offer conference attendees on how they can apply what they've learned at ATO when they get home?
Hey, this is Todd with All Things Open. Thank you so much for watching. We truly appreciate it. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button. We've got a lot of new content coming we think you're going to be interested in. One final favor, be sure to go to allthingsopen.org, allthingsopen.org to see everything that we do. Back to the video.
I mean, do stuff. That's really what everything comes down to. Like if you want to learn new things in open source, it's kind of like another version of that same, like, don't forget about the humans thing that I was saying before. Like, don't forget that it's about doing things. I think the biggest mistake that I see people make is they want to just try to like inhale entire voluminous tech manuals, like start to finish, and think that like this is how I learn how to do things. And it's not. You find a thing that you want to do and you learn how to do that thing, and you can expand that later, but really that's how your learning needs to be focused.
Do you have any examples from your own experience that you want to share?
I mean, basically everything I know how to do, that's how I learned how to do it, I guess probably the most approachable one is in the very early part of my career. I started out way back in the 8-bit days, and then, once we got into the more modern era, I was a DOS and then a Windows guy. And Linux was pretty well established, and I hadn't really had that much to do with it. And I actually didn't want much to do with Linux at that time. I wanted to be a FreeBSD guy. But like I said, I know the way to learn things is to do them. So it's like, okay, what can I actually do with FreeBSD that will like make sure that I actually use it? And the answer was, well, I can set up a file server. So I set up a file server in my apartment. I installed Samba on it, and I started putting all my files on it. And that meant that not just I had done a thing on a FreeBSD box, but now I was actually using it on a day-to-day basis. And again, that's how you learn things. Like that eventually turned into, okay, well now I know how to do that. Now I can look at setting up Apache on FreeBSD. Now I can look at bind. Now I know like everything about, how to set up a website. And before you know it, now instead of paying for web hosting, my web host, a dude who ran a business down in Florida that specialized in FreeBSD stuff, first he's offering me free hosting, and then he's paying me because I got better at doing the support stuff than he was.
I love it. Jim, is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I think so. The thing that you didn't ask was how to get more out of the conference, and the hallway track is the most important track. It doesn't have to mean talking to people in the halls, but like after a talk, go up there, talk to the presenter. If there's still time in the room. If not, see if you can catch them elsewhere. But that again, it's the human connection. You will get so much more out of talking to people than just listening to talks.
I agree. That's great advice. Thanks for your time today, Jim. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks.